Theoretical Classes on Tonal Sequences. The Circle of Fourths and Fifths. Lecture 1. Mnemonic Thinking. A brief explanation about this subject matter. In the beginning, I mentioned the word mnemonic as a reference point of the lesson I am going to present here. Well, mnemonic, for those not familiarized with this word, means a memory aid or technique, often a rhyme, acronym, or visual image, used to help remember information more quickly. To me, as a self-taught guitarist, someone who has learned to play the guitar without formal lessons or instruction from a teacher, relying instead on resources like books, online tutorials, and practice by ear. The Circle of Fifths indeed helped me to see a world that I have never seen before inside music theory. Think this way. For those who really love playing an instrument, is a fact that he or she loves music and got some ear for music as well. And all we want is to make music, play our favorite band's music. And we know that even with love for music, some theory tend to make us distance from the instrument. In all of us, we want things to happen fast, and when it doesn't happen according to our ambitions' wishes, well, there always will be a place in the home to hang the instrument. So, in the following lessons, I am going to show you a different approach that you don't need to use mnemonic thinking. The Roman numeral system, chord progression, functional harmony. Functional harmony in music theory describes how chords function within a key, particularly focusing on their tendency to move towards a stable, tonic chord, the home chord. It's based on the idea that chords have predictable relationships and movements, creating tension and release that contributes to the overall harmonic movement of a piece. But before we get into to study this lesson, we must jump in the major scale, because if you don't know what the major scale is, then you will not be able to understand and see how easy and practical it is to memorize the circle of fourths and fifths without mnemonic ideas. In this video, I will show you step by step how things really work. I will show the theory along with some practical exercises demonstration on the guitar neck, so you can grasp the contents and be able to memorize the patterns of the major and minor scales keys quicker. Okay, now let's get into this. How to memorize the 12 tones without mnemonic thinking. The major scale. A major scale is a group of 7 notes that follows a pattern of whole steps and half steps. Specifically, the pattern is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So, if you want to find a C major, you simply start on the note C and apply these steps, which produces the 7 notes
C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C.
Now that you are familiar with the major scale, we can begin constructing the theory of the circle of fourths and fifths. However, there is something important to mention here. As I'm familiar, and you probably too, the circle of fifths is taught by moving to the right in fifths. Using the order of sharps, well, as they say, and indeed is true, sharps is much easier to memorize than flats. However, I am going to prove my point here, moving to other direction, and begin our study not moving to the right on fifths, but moving to the right on fourths. In this case on the order of flats, like I mentioned before. The circle is not static, and it is dynamic, it moves and moves. And the order of flats and sharps are the same. Let's see how it works. But before, know this. Once you learn this particular lesson, you're not going to need to do all this theory constructed here. You'll be able to identify the order you're in, flats, or sharps. Let's create the order of flat notes. This is one of the most important steps to advance on the circle theory. It is the socket that will light up the mind to see clearly how things work in the least complex way. So, let me address some points that deserve attention. First, we need to identify the first note of the order of the flats. This is not difficult. However, people tend to get confused. Yet because in this case the order of flats start with the note B, not F. However, our start point on the circle of fourths begin counting from the note C. So, the order of flats moves in fourths, 4 steps from the key, which is the note C. The next note is F, and the following note is B, forming the order sequence F, B, E, A, D, G, C, F. I know, you probably have some question about this formation. Hold tight. The following order is the order of sharps. Well, this is how things begin to look interesting. The notes are the same, but the sequence is opposite. Yes, indeed. And there's more interesting things coming. Let's put all this together. Order of flats. From C, move 4 steps to F. From F, move 4 steps to B. From B, move 4 steps to E. From E, move 4 steps to A. From A, move 4 steps to D. From D, move 4 steps to G. From G, move 4 steps to C. From C, move 4 steps to F. Order of sharps. From C, move 4 steps to F. From F, move 5 steps to C. From C, move 5 steps to G. From G, move 5 steps to D. From D, move 5 steps to A. From A, move 5 steps to E. From E, move 5 steps to B. From B, move 5 steps to F. Okay, let's exchange the direction of the fourths to fifths and fifths to fourths and begin our circle theory construction. Well, so far we covered a very good amount of the theory that nobody really wants to spend time with. As I mentioned many times, by using the word mnemonic, just to get your attention in particular from this first lesson. It's from this point I presume that your light bulb will begin to light up seeing the shortcuts that are not necessary in some musical theory. Now that we have the order of flats, our next step is to construct the 12-tone sequence. When I began to study the circle of fifths, I encountered many difficulties to understand the theory behind it. There are many lessons about the circle of fifths, and pretty much everybody teaches the same way, moving clockwise in fifths. But few lessons about teaching the thirds and fourths. In my understanding, the circle of fifths actually is the circle of fourths, and I am going to demonstrate in my theory lessons how can anyone learn much faster, memorize all the diatonic chords, and move on to more complex theory with more knowledge. The Roman numeral system, chord progression, functional harmony. Do not worry if you do not yet understand about the Roman numeral. I will make a video lesson about this topic as soon we finish with the circle of fourths lessons. Let's continue by positioning the Roman numeral in the circle. Next step, the 7 diatonic chords of C major key. From tonic C, let's position them. 1 is the tonic chord, C. 5 is a dominant chord, G. 4 is a subdominant chord, F. 2 is a subdominant chord, D. 6 is a subdominant chord, A. 3 is a tonic chord, E. 7 is a diminished dominant chord, B. You will understand all these in the diatonic chords functions lesson in some time ahead. Let's complete the order of flats. And remove the circle on the right, giving the space to enter the chord progression chart. Next step, I am going to show you the rest of the theory in the circle to complete this lesson. If you so far not see or understand how we are going to eliminate all these theories so far presented here, do not worry, as I mentioned before. This is just a demonstration how the circle of fifths is taught on others' channels. Actually, it is the circle of fourths, and you probably have seen this already. If so, you are noticing by now some change. These lesson steps are important for you to see, so you understand that in some theories it isn't necessary to follow so many rules, and there are shortcuts to faster learning. How many flats or sharps are in each key? This is a very simple step that anyone can quickly memorize. Take a look at the circle as a clock, moving clockwise, counting the hours from 1 to 12. The first chord on the 12 o'clock position is the tonic, the C major. As you know by now, C major has no sharp or flats. It is the only scale in this particular class where you don't have to think about flats or sharps. All the others have. So, starting from the G on the 11th hour and F on the 1 hour time, both have 1. G is from the order of sharps group, it has 1 sharp. And F is from the order of flats group, has 1 flat. Let's understand this. The tonic is the lead key in the scale. It can go anywhere in the diatonic keys. The following key is G on the 5th degree on the left in the circle and F on the 4th degree on the right. They're like family, always sticking together in these formations. When you choose a scale to build your chord progression, it is exactly like that you must proceed. All the others just follow the clock hours. D, 2 sharps and B flat, or a sharp, 2 flats. A, 3 sharps and E flat or D sharp, 3 flats. E, 4 sharps and a flat or G sharp, 4 flats. B, 5 sharps and D flat or C sharp, 5 flats. F, sharp, 6 sharps and G flat, or F sharp, 6 flats. C sharp, 7 sharps and C flat or B, 7 flats. Very simple, right? What notes carry flats or sharps in the scale? Now, it's all fine and dandy. However, you cannot do much without knowing whom in the scale has flats or sharps. Let's take a close look by using the order of flats and sharps here. Let's begin with the order of flats. But first, let's block the scale chart. Otherwise, it would be too easy, right? C is too easy, no flats or sharps. F, 1 flat, and that is B flat. B flat, 2 flats, and that are B flat and E flat. E flat, 3 flats, and that are E flat, A flat, B flat. A flat, 4 flats, and that are A flat, B flat, E flat, D flat. D flat, 5 flats, and that are D flat, E flat, G flat, A flat, B flat. G flat, 6 flats, and that are G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat. C flat, 7 flats, and that are C flat, D flat, E flat, F flat, G flat, A flat, B flat. For the order of sharps, we apply the same procedure. The minor chords. I will present this lesson from this chart in the next video lesson. This is how I constructed the theory of the circle of fourths a few years ago. This format has helped me to see in depth the theory I couldn't see and understand from the lessons I had studied. In the next video lesson, I will show the basic points that once you're able to see, you'll definitely begin to play and make some music. You will see how magical this circle is for those who love to play instruments. We want to make music, play music, and not spend time thinking about theory. Of course, we need the basics of musical theory. However, it has to be in a format we can grasp quicker and put in practice on our instrument at the same time. But stick with me on this. You're not going to waste your time, I promise you, but be patient because the way I am producing these lessons takes me a lot of time. In the next lesson, I will show you one pattern sequence on the guitar fretboard for both flats and sharps. A sequence pattern that repeats itself in the same direction around the circle for both orders. I will also show you a particular step how to identify the minor keys on the second, sixth, and third degree in the circle without any mnemonic thinking of any source. From this pattern, we can analyze songs right away on the guitar neck, making your study more exciting thinking about music, not theory. So, thanks for being here till the end of this video, and I will see you soon. I can accomplish the lessons I am talking about. In order for me to do all this work, I ask you for your support. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share with your friends, even if they're not into playing guitar. Thank you very much. See you soon.